In 1950, Walt Disney Productions released their first fully live-action feature film, the iconic adaptation of Robert Louis Stevenson's classic novel Treasure Island. The iconic status of this film is somewhat subtle. It is not the most widely seen film today. It doesn't show up in any critics' lists that I come across, and yet it is credited with birthing the modern cliché conception of the pirate, courtesy of Robert Newton's legendary portrayal of Long John Silver. What we recognize today as the stereotypical pirate voice is Robert Newton's creation, achieved through an exaggeration of his natural West Country English accent. Long John Silver is already likely, along with Peter Pan's Captain Hook, the most recognizable and influential pirate character in fiction, and Newton acted as a widespread visual to attach to the iconic imaginary figure. Incidentally, Newton's rambunctious lifestyle off-camera, drinking, partying, and getting into mischief, served as an influence on later British media crazies like Oliver Reed and Keith Moon. We all know the story of Treasure Island, so there is no need to go over it again here. So some commentary on my experience watching the film. What do I think? This film is fun. I feel as though, generally speaking, it holds it up really very well. It lacks a certain scope, given that they are clearly disguising the fact that the ship is not on the actual ocean, but aside from this, the island portion of the film is very vivid, catching, and has a feeling of authenticity. Its plot is still engaging from moment to moment. It is easy to imagine getting wrapped up in a well-told Treasure Island, although it was this film's determined enthusiasm to be the be-all end-all of Treasure Island adaptations at this time, especially as this was its first adaptation in colour, which gives it a consistently pronounced enthusiasm and energy in its telling, and the general emphasis on actions and development within the narrative. It's rather striking. This film was directed by a noteworthy Hollywood director in Byron Haskin. Haskin began his Hollywood career as a cinematographer in the 1920s, directing a small number of features also, before working as a special effects artist throughout the 1930s and early 40s. This included assisting the productions of several films from our main man Michael Curtiz, including Dodge City, The Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex, The Sea Wolf, The Sea Hawk, Santa Fe Trail, Captains of the Clouds, and Passage to Marseille. 1948's I Walk Alone signalled Haskin's return to directing features. Interestingly, he hadn't been working for very long as a director before being hired for the Treasure Island production. I Walk Alone, Man Eater of Kumaon, and Too Late for Tears immediately precede Treasure Island, but after Treasure Island, Haskin's career most invigorated, directing several genre films throughout the 1950s, including Tarzan's Peril, The War of the Worlds, The Naked Jungle, Long John Silver, a sequel to Treasure Island with Newton reprising his role, Conquest of Space, and From the Earth to the Moon. In the 1960s, Haskin was responsible for two particularly interesting films in Robinson Crusoe on Mars and The Power, which I do intend to discuss for this program eventually. So yes, a film director with an interesting career, and he has Treasure Island to thank for it. Good work, Byron Haskin. Yes, this one is recommended. If you like Treasure Island, or pirate fiction in general, of course, seek it out.